panic and run through that.
Yeah, no, I'd like to discuss briefly first and point the board to a couple of things.
Okay.
The reason why we're doing this is because with subdivisions, can you all hear me? Okay, I just put my face closer to it. With subdivisions, we have to complete seeker before we open the public hearing, which is why at the last meeting, we completed seeker, we issued a negative declaration, and then we opened the public hearing. The issue with this procedure, and this is required by the state, this particular procedure for subdivisions, the issue with it is that then, of course, when we get certain comments from the public, it sometimes means additional review needs to take place. So that's what happened in this instance. We received some comments from the public. Pat's office went through those comments. We had previously, because it's a two-lot subdivision, we had only asked for a short form EAF, and there are certain informations on the short form that are not fully laid out in depth as they are with the long form. So the historic, there's proximity to some historic resources possibly, and presence in an agricultural district. So because of that additional information, which the board didn't thoroughly review, it's appropriate, and I've drafted a resolution that opens the seeker review again. We don't need to go ahead and rescind right away the negative declaration or amend it right away. What will happen is we can go through seeker again. I believe the applicant has prepared a long form.
Type part one.
Long form
Yes.
part one.
Part one.
And so what I would suggest happen after this, we review this resolution, is that there are certain referrals that need to take place now that it's in an ag district, and because there could be some historical elements. Pat's office suggests referral to SHPO and county, so that should take place. Pat's office will probably prepare a part 2 for us to review. And the only thing that I want to touch on before we go through this resolution is the typing of the action. I saw that in Pat's comments, he suggested that this could now be a type 1, and that's because of this provision from the text of seeker that I printed out for the board to review. This is section 617.4 sub B, and there are certain actions that can push an unlisted action into a type 1 action, and those are subsections 8 and 9. Presence in an agricultural district, or is it 9? Yes. Any unlisted action that exceeds 25% of any threshold established in this section occurring wholly or partially within or substantially contiguous to. Oh, sorry. Any historic building, structure, facility, site, or district. That's the essence of that subsection. But what that means is, those only apply when the action also exceeds 25% of another threshold in the section. I think the only one that would apply would be subsection 6, because subsection 6I applies to projects or actions that involve the physical alteration of 10 acres, 25% of which would be 2.5, but those are only for construction of non-residential facilities. So in my view, this could remain an unlisted action and just proceed with the long form part 1 and then prepare the part 2 and just make sure that we touch on the historic and the agricultural elements. And that's what this resolution proposes.
Okay. Kelly, do you have anything to add to that? Kelly, do you have anything to add to that? Okay. Okay. Okay, so we received your part 1. Pat's going to review it, and we'll review that at the June. We'll review part 2 at the June meeting. But I'm going to read the resolution. Does any member of the board have any comments? Okay. 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 So application of Katrina Nason as owner of applicant for 2-lot subdivision. Resolution to reconsider and reassess potential significant environmental impacts by the Town of Marlborough Planning Board, May 4th, 2026. Whereas Katrina Nason, the owner, and the applicant applied to the Town of Marlborough Planning Board for approval pursuant to Marlborough Town Code 134-9 to subdivide into 2 lots a 23.3 acre parcel of land which property is located in an R Ag 1 zoning district at 99 Peach Lane, Milton, New York, and further identified as tax parcel number 95.4-3-13.210. And whereas the application was initially submitted in May of 2025 and was revised and resubmitted in January 2026, along with a map entitled Two Lot Subdivision for Nason, prepared by CM Terezi Engineering PLLC, dated September 20th, 2025, and bearing the last revision date of November 17th, 2025. Whereas at its meeting on February 2nd, 2026, the Planning Board classified the action as an unlisted action pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act, SECRA, and its implementing regulations set forth in 6 NYCRR Part 617, and circulated its intent to be lead agency to all involved and interested agencies. And whereas on March 16, 2026, after receiving no objections, the Planning Board declared itself lead agency for the purpose of making a determination of significance pursuant to SECRA, reviewed a short environmental assessment form, Part 1, prepared by the applicant, and considered and adopted entries of SEAF Part 2 and SEAF Part 3 prepared by the Planning Board consultant. And whereas at its meeting on April 20th, 2026, the Planning Board issued a negative declaration pursuant to SECRA, finding that the action will not have any significant adverse impact on the environment, and therefore a draft environmental impact statement need not be prepared. And whereas the Planning Board held a duly noticed public hearing on April 20th, 2026, at which all wishing to be heard on the application were heard. And whereas the public hearing questions were raised regarding the property's proximity, potential proximity to historical resources or structures, and situation in an agricultural district. And whereas the town engineer undertook a thorough review of the concerns posed and found that although SEAF Part 1 submitted by applicant answered no to question 12 regarding historical significance, the property may be proximal to structures of historical significance and is located in an Ulster County agricultural district. Whereas pursuant to 6 NYCRR 617.7E and F, if after the issuance of a negative declaration, but prior to lead agency decisions to approve an action, the lead agency discovers new information which was not previously considered, it must revisit its environmental findings and either aimed its negative declaration if it again finds no significant adverse environmental impacts will occur, or rescind the negative declaration if it finds that a significant adverse environmental impact may result. Whereas the Planning Board as lead agency has determined that the information regarding the project's proximity to historical and agricultural resources constitutes substantive new information which it did not previously consider. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town of Marlborough Planning Board determines to reopen its SECRA review in light of new information presented for purpose of making a complete and reasoned determination of the project's environmental significance pursuant to 6 NYCRR 617.7B. Be it further resolved that the Planning Board reaffirms its findings that this action is an unlisted action under SECRA because it involves the construction of residential facilities. It does not fall into 6 NYCRR 617.4B6 as limited by subsections 8 or 9. Be it further resolved that the applicants shall submit a full environmental assessment form, Part 1, for the Board's review and consideration. Be it further resolved that in light of new information, the Planning Board directs its consultants to refer the project to SHPO and the Ulster County Planning Board for review and comment. Jen, will you poll the Board? Yes.
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 Member LaFaro.
Yes.
Member Powell.
Yes.
Absent?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, who refers to SHPO typically? Is it Pat's office?
Yes.
You do that? And then we'll do county. And then we'll do Ulster County Planning. Pursuant to 239. Pursuant to 239.
So Kelly, if you'll have part two done, you'll speak to Pat, and review that, and then we'll get that sent to Ulster County, okay? Any questions? Okay.
As far as the public hearing goes, the public hearing was closed, correct? There won't be any more.
We'll have to reopen the we'll have to hold a new public hearing. In fact, let's wait to schedule that. I think I wrote down that it was closed, so we'll confirm that.
It was closed. We had to close it to go into public hearing.
I believe that it was
go into public
closed.
hearing.
So in that case, because this still remains a subdivision, we're going to have a public hearing after the conclusion of seeker, so we'll have another public hearing.
Yes.
Opportunity to speak.
Yes. Okay? But we're not going to schedule that tonight.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you. Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Summit Drive Properties? Summit Drive Properties? Summit Drive Properties?
Sorry for being also being a distraction. I'm just going to call. I didn't know how to get into the building. Is that better?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm kind of a last minute stand-in, and I work for MHE Engineering. I've been there 2 years. I'm a land use planner. I'm not an engineer, but I worked for the county planning in Orange County, New York for 18 years, and so I know, a bit about this 239 process. But what Pat advised me is if I could just read his comments, and I'll take notes on anything I can't answer. But we did go over the plans today. So I'm just going to proceed to read his.
1 second. Go ahead for the public, just talk about the project a little bit. Turn your mic on, please. There you go. It's on.
Okay, good. I'm Matt Town, engineer for the project. Nick Galella, he's the owner. So this has been before the board for quite a while now, and we've been through a few iterations. If you recall, it was multifamily with access up top off Summit Drive. Then we explored providing access down to Grand Street. That didn't work, so we're back up top to access off Summit Drive. The big change now is with the buildings, we're proposing townhome units. So the density is a little bit less. We're doing, so it's 4 buildings still, 6 units per building. Each unit will have 2 bedrooms. 4 units per building.
Right.
4 units.
Right, what'd I say, 6?
4
Okay.
units.
4, and 2, okay. So, 4 buildings, 4 units, 2 bedrooms. So 32 total bedrooms. And then, where was I?
16 total units.
So, we started, well, the previous project was 48 bedrooms, so it's reduced by 33%. So there's going to be an HOA to go along with the townhomes. We've got the attorney working on that. There's a section in the code that talks about lot lines around townhomes. They don't need to be finalized until the foundation walls are actually poured, because the lot lines are going to be literally on the foundations. So we're deferring providing meets and bounds for now in accordance with code. We will have the HOA document. It's going to handle maintenance, repair items, cost, fee. So we still need to be included in the sewer district. We're going to petition with the town board. We're going through that process now. We're proposing a water main. This was another request. It extends from Summit Drive into the property. There's a couple fire hydrants within the property itself, and then the water main, 8-inch, is going to extend all the way down to the property line near Grand Street for connection with the water system down there. What else? So the stormwater management, I didn't provide a SWIP with this submittal. I didn't have time to get that done, but I did size everything, so what's shown on these plans is an accurate reflection of what's going to work for the site. There's another bioretention added, and the pond is increased a little bit in size, but otherwise it's pretty much the same. We've got the landscaping. The refuse enclosures are gone. Refuse is going to be in each garage, so everybody's going to have their own individual cans. Parking is, there's 2 spaces per unit. There's a driveway and then the garage, so each unit already has 2 spaces. Then there's an additional 16 excess. We've got the emergency vehicle turnaround proposed still. I think that's it. That's all I have.
Okay. Kelly?
Okay, am I correct that, Matt, you've already seen Pat's comments?
I have seen it,
You
yeah.
have seen those, okay,
Yeah.
so I can skip over some that you've already just addressed. I've taken notes on those. But I'll just read over the other things, and I'll try not to be too redundant. But, so the first one is just clarifying the number of buildings, just in terms of getting the count correct, and that the long form will need to also be submitted because of that revision, at the number of units per building. Yeah. So you address the sewer district issue, the revised SWIP. He's noting that a subdivision plan needs to be prepared. You address the meets and bounds.
Kelly?
Yeah.
Can you turn your mic on?
Is it still not on? Is it still not on? It's just not close enough?
Yeah.
Do I have to
There you
start
go.
over? Close enough?
Not.
Start over? Yeah, okay. Sorry. You addressed the erosion and sediment control plan. Also, stormwater facilities. I have a note that there have been some amendments to that. Are there plans for a pre-construction meeting for that? Pre-construction meeting? Or is,
We had one.
that would be with Pat and...
Yeah,
and with you?
yeah, I'll talk with Pat about that.
Okay.
A pre-construction meeting for the stormwater, is that what pre-construction?
Just, that's something that I think this town does for every project, right? You have a pre-construction meeting?
Yes.
Okay. So that's just noted. Comments from jurisdictional emergency services should be received. The planning board should evaluate whether to submit the project to the town's traffic consultant from Creighton Manning Engineers for any potential traffic impacts. The water main extension report and plan should be submitted to the town water department for review, as well as Ulster County Health Department for the extension from the hydrants. And it should identify pressures for potable water and fire flow calculations. Utility easements should be submitted to town attorney for review. And the water main extension onto Grand Street, is that clear that the town, that's going to be something the applicant will install?
So we're planning on installing it to the property line?
Just to the property line?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the town was going to make the connection.
Okay.
Town was gonna make it.
Okay. And then Pat did have questions about the, comment 14, if you have these in front of you.
I do, and I thought that we had gotten through this in the last revision, last set of plans with the SWIP. We had moved the level spreader from where it previously was, the stormwater pond discharge location. We moved it further to the south so that there was basically no chance of any development immediately downstream of where the level spreader is. So water would leave that and go down to the 9W ditch. That's kind of what the plan has been. And I thought Pat had agreed with this layout, but I guess we'll need to talk about it some more.
Okay. Yeah, I think it was, and as he states here, it's just right after that, it's a real steep slope. It goes right down to 9W. So I think he was concerned about velocity and erosion and whatnot. But yeah, that's an engineering question for sure. You see the water main and sewer main profiles he's asking for. You already addressed the refuse locations. He addresses snow storage and landscape planting list.
Those are both on the plan. Those are both on
I'm sorry, what was that?
the snow storage and landscape planning are both on the plan.
On the most recent ones?
Yeah, they're on.
Okay, he may not have seen those then. Okay, he may. And then revising the bulk table. So that's pretty much. That's what I have from him.
Do you have anything?
Yeah, so this,
Do you have any-
as you said, we've been going around on this for a while, but in some ways, I think we're back to the beginning, because we just had the preliminary conference, and even though we had previously, I have notes that we had previously circulated for lead and referred to county and had a public hearing, we now have different plans before us. So I think a couple different things. Of course, my number one concern is always seeker, and so I think there are a couple things that needed to be potentially added, and I don't know if I've seen the most recent application as well, but in my view, there are a couple different things that play into this one action, and those are the site plan, the special permit, the subdivision, even though we have this other special provision for this, and I will note that is code section 134.9H8, which does allow, as you said, for kind of special treatment for townhomes. But despite that, I think those actions and extension of the sewer district are all part of this same action for seeker. So we need to be reviewing all of those here before eventually sending this over to the town board that they can approve a sewer extension with the plans that you then submit at that time. So I think I have a couple points on that. The preliminary one, I think, being that the application should include mention of all of those different parts and describe all of those different parts, including the sewer district extension. And I think the EAF, which I don't know if we received the full EAF, it sounds like potentially not yet, which is good perhaps in this case because the full EAF that we receive should include mention and description of all of the elements that make up the action. I'm interested in Pat's comment as to the traffic consultant. I think that seems like potentially a good idea in this instance. But in some, I see that there are some comments from Pat that potentially could changes to the plans, potentially. So in my view, if we wanted to move forward with seeker, we would have to circulate for lead agency again, but that can only happen once we know that we have the plan and the application. So it's not clear to me whether we have that final form yet.
Personally, I think these plans are good enough to circulate for lead agency if we're to do that again. They were less developed than these were initially when we first circulated. So these are pretty far along. There are some comments on here that will be addressed, but
You could do as you have done before, which is that you can move to circulate upon receipt of plans that reflect these comments from Pat, and a full environmental assessment form that describes all of those pieces of the action as I've described.
Can I just ask you, as far as them applying to the town board for the extension of the sewer?
Yes.
Are you saying that the planning board has to take into account the actual construction of this, bringing in the sewer elements to the application?
Yes, because this is part of the action under seeker, that is to say, it's one of the components that will allow this to take place. So this board, because we don't want to segment seeker, which is one of the big, absolutely don't do that about this statute, we need to review this project with the environmental impacts of the sewer extension. And then once we come to our decision on that, that's when you say, okay, we've done the environmental review, we didn't segment it, and then the town board has the opportunity to actually approve the extension if they so choose based on the map plan and report that Matt will submit for that purpose to the town board.
And then it comes back to us again. After that.
Right, and then the
Then we'll
planning
make
board
final
will say,
determination.
the town board has approved the sewer extension, and so now you have the opportunity to review the subdivision, the special permit, and the site plan.
Any discussion on the traffic study? Anybody have any opinion there?
I know we've had public hearings on a little different application, but it was clear that the neighbors were concerned about traffic issues. So I think it would be prudent to ask Creighton Manning to take a look at that, so we would have an accurate idea of how much traffic would be going through this area.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's important.
I think so too, and I think that that should take place, that actual referral to Creighton Manning should take place once you have been able to declare yourself lead agency, after you've circulated for lead and gotten no resistance from any other agencies on that.
Well, the only thing is that typically it does take a while to get Creighton Manning on board. So maybe even just to give them a heads up that this is something that the board is looking at their help with, and we would shortly be asking for them
I
to
don't
be
see an
involved.
issue with that.
Okay. And I would imagine that's something that Pat's office does, right?
That would be,
So once we get the
Yes.
okay from
Well,
you.
I'm okay with declaring for lead agency once all the parts are in.
we'll circulate for lead agency.
Exactly.
So we'll send it away, and then
Exactly.
every other agency gets the 30 days, and if they don't respond by that time, or if we get the okay from them, then we officially declare lead agency, and then can move forward with the seeker review.
Right.
So I think
Word circulate, you're right.
we're
I
gonna.
said the wrong word.
We're gonna, yes, we're gonna circulate upon completion of these potentially outstanding things that Pat mentions and the full environmental assessment form.
Okay. I'm okay with that. Can I have a motion for that? I'm okay with that. Can I have a motion for that? Okay. Second? 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 Any discussion? All in favor? Any discussion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried? Opposed? Motion carried? Okay. We're good.
All right, thanks.
We're good. Jeff Aldridge is next. Jeff Aldridge is next. Hello, Ms. Brooks. How are you tonight?
I'm well, thank you.
How are you tonight?
I'm well, thank you.
Want to just go over your project? Want to just go over your project? No. Now you're
On
on.
now? Okay.
Now you're
On now? The light's not working. The light's not working. So we are back before the board with our proposed subdivision. When we last appeared before the board, we had some homework to do. Once we had the wetlands delineated, it necessitated some revisions to the overall plan. The planning board also asked for a long-form EAF to discuss the cumulative impacts of an ultimate development plan. So in the long-form EAF, we broke it out into like a phase 1, phase 2, so that we could explore the cumulative impacts. We did receive the comment letter from Pat's office and are ready to discuss the items.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
I'm just curious, excuse me. I'm just curious if you got the most updated comments.
We did.
Okay.
And I think, well, we'll wait till we get to it. We'll take one comment at a time, I guess. Do you want me to dialogue with Kelly as she's going through the comments, or wait till she's totally done, which is...
We'll wait until. Okay. We'll wait until.
Are we on Aldrich?
Yes.
Oh, we skipped.
Yes.
Okay.
So good. Happy that you got the revised notes. Pat and I were going over this afternoon, and All right, so I can kind of skim through these since everyone's already read these. Although maybe not everyone, since these were sent out this afternoon, I believe. So the project involves the transfer of 1.25 acres to the town of Marlborough for use at the baseball facility. So confirmation of acceptance by the town board must be identified prior to any final approval. Confirmation of the limits of disturbance on the site should be added to the plan sheet, just to make that a little more clear on where those limits are. And comment number 3, MHE's engineers are currently reviewing the SWIP. The town of Marlborough circulated the notice of intent for lead agency earlier this year, and tonight is in a position to declare lead agency. We're waiting on the jurisdictional determination from the Army Corps of Engineers regarding the location of the wetlands. I have a question. One thing I was wondering, has a submission been sent to DEC? I know their freshwater wetlands regulations are currently under question, and they've been annulled, but it sounds like it's temporary. The DEC is telling applicants to continue on with the newer wetland regulations. So was that submitted to the state to see if the state would take jurisdiction? Because I believe
It was submitted to the state, and we did submit the reply that we received from DEC that there are partial state-regulated wetlands which have been shown on the map, and partial federal wetlands which have been delineated and shown as well.
So the federal wetlands are not going to be taken over by the state?
Correct.
Oh, okay. Correct. No, answers that. A note on the plan should be placed requiring a pre-construction meeting, like we were just referring to. Just that should be a note on the plan. Ulster County Health Department will need to approve the subsurface sanitary sewer disposal system. Pat has received the highway superintendent's comments. The EAF notes potential archaeological sites, so there should be some coordination with SHPO. And so it was just noted by someone, and I apologize if there's not coordination. This is saying the applicant should submit plans to SHPO. One of you had just noted that our office does that, but I think that is the applicant.
I do for my projects. I know Pat has in the past for other projects, so I don't know that.
That's unique to each project, then?
Perhaps.
Okay. Is that something that you...
Yeah, I've already started a CRIS application on this, but when the solar farm was done, they did receive a no-effect finding letter from OPRHP for a previous project on this site, so I'm not anticipating there to be an issue, but I had already started a CRIS on it.
Okay. Securities for the town roadway will be required prior to final approval. Cost estimates for the private roadway should be submitted for review and approval by the town board.
I think that might be a typo. This is going to be a town road.
Okay.
Okay.
And then number 11 is noting that if the project site is located in a community with an approved local waterfront revitalization program, it should be checked yes. The long form EAF identified 2 acres to be disturbed. This should be clarified. Are those 2 separate comments?
They are 2 separate comments, but I would like to review them when you're done reading your comments.
Okay, thank you. Oh, that's a clerical error. Just number 12, just a small one. The DEC wetland number should be identified. The lot cover, number 13 is requested that a lot coverage calculation be provided for the balanced parcel with regard to the solar facility. So it's just subtracting out, just to show the acreage that is used for the solar versus the remainder of that part of the lot. So that's just a quick calculation. And just noting Ulster County and 239 review is going to be required.
Why is a 239 review required?
It doesn't say here, but I would think ag district. Probably within 500 feet of a farm within an ag district, maybe 500 feet from a state road, county road.
But it's a subdivision.
That still is subject to GML 239.
GML 239. GML 239. I'll look into that. I didn't think that this triggered anything on GML 239.
Okay.
I'm not aware if a town can have an intermunicipal agreement with a municipality, and in Ulster County, that's not something I can speak to. So if that's the case, then that could be.
It might be, yeah. But yeah, we'll address it.
Okay. Yeah, in a lot of towns in Orange County, that would definitely trigger.
Right. Patty, do you want to go through any of these comments?
Sure. We did.
Which number are you going to be on first?
I'm going to start with 1.
Okay, good.
Might as well start at the beginning.
Make sure.
So I found that we had sent a letter to the town board back on February 20th, 2025, requesting them to participate in the lot line, with the lot line revision to add to their parcel. And I know that we talked about it at the inter-meeting, but I'm not finding anything in writing from the town board, so I'll reach back out to them again. The limits of disturbance are shown on S1, so I'm not sure if Pat did not see it. It was, I looked at the line type, it's clearly on here, along with the proposed disturbance area of 3.7 acres. So maybe I'll check with Pat and see if he didn't see the area of disturbance, but it is on there already. S1. Mm-hmm. S1. That was item 2. 3, we understand. 4, I just wanted to verify that the notice of intent actually had been circulated, that you have documentation of that, because my notes from the February 5th meeting were that it was going to be circulated once I submitted the long form EAF, which I just did with this submission.
That's correct. And we're gonna.
It says here the town of Marlborough circulated the notice of intent on February 5th. You used the short EAF and circulated?
I think that's what happened.
Okay.
Right.
And again.
It's going to be a long form, it has to be recirculated.
And again.
Hannah?
I was under the impression that we were going to wait to circulate until we got the long form, so I think we were on the same page. When did you send that over, the long form?
Just with this submission 2 weeks ago.
So we will confirm, either it has been circulated or it has not yet been circulated, but will. I know the board decided that it would.
So I guess my question is, if the short form was circulated, then does it need to be recirculated with the long form? Or since the action is the same, if there was nobody saying that they were interested in opining, and actually this application is less than what we originally had submitted because of the federal wetlands, is there anybody who's going to be? Again, I just want to make sure procedurally we do the right thing so it doesn't come back later on.
I think a circulation with the long form is appropriate.
And that, Pat agrees.
Okay. That's what we'll do.
Okay.
That's what we'll do.
Okay, so now that we have that.
So we'll circulate for lead agency tonight.
Yes,
Okay.
unless the long form has already been circulated, Carrie, do you know?
No, only the short one.
Okay.
Item 5, I have no comments. Item 6, no problem. 7, I do not have a copy of the highway superintendent's comments from March of this year. I had submitted the ones from March of last year, so if I could get a copy of...
I looked through the folder, I looked on my email, so I'll have to look into that.
Okay.
I might have it down in this box.
Okay.
I might, yeah, I could look through.
Yeah, and if not, I mean, I don't need it tonight, but if we could all get a copy of that for the record. Got it.
Do that after the meeting then. Okay.
OPRHP, we already talked about, sending it to SHPO. We talked about 10, that will be a town roadway. So on the EAF, I guess I'm a little bit confused, because on B, government approvals. I, coastal resources. It says, is the project site within a coastal area or the waterfront area of a designated inland waterway? And it's not. So, what happens is, as I'm sure you know, with all of the EAFs, they autofill certain questions. Once they autofill, you can't revise it. So what I did is I put underneath there, I typed in, auto answer incorrect. So I'm confused. Because it says, is this project located in a community with an approved, so that's only, I thought, if yes was correct. But I'm not sure. So,
And just to be clear, the town of Marlborough does not have a local waterfront revitalization program.
We do have one,
You do?
yes.
Okay.
so I just want to make sure I fill it out correctly. And then D, 1B, it says that I identified 2 acres to be disturbed, but I looked at my EAF, and total acres to be physically disturbed, I put 3.7 plus 4.5. So I'm not sure where the 2 acres came from. The 3.7 being, the phase 1, phase 2. I reached out to DEC today, but I did not get an answer before the end of the day because I had been previously told by DEC that with the new regulations, I was not to be using the old numbers anymore, the wetland numbers. So I'll get clarification and then circulate that so we all know.
I'm just curious who that was at DEC. Was it Mike?
Paige.
Paige?
Mhm.
Oh, I don't know.
Lewandowski. Yeah.
Okay.
She does Ulster County.
Oh, Mike Fratz may not work there.
Yeah, Mike does Orange County, which
No, but
I'm sure
everyone
you-
at DEC is giving conflicting answers about the
Yes.
wetlands regs right now.
I think they're having even internally conflicts, so it's understandable with what's going on.
No, it's interesting to hear what you heard.
So I guess I have a question on the lot coverage. Because I don't know how the solar farm, when you're talking about lot coverage, is that for impervious surface or density purposes to take it out? I wasn't 100% clear on where we were going with that request.
Right, when we talk, yeah, I understand the confusion because he does say lot coverage, but when we were talking about it this afternoon, he just wanted to see the acreage that's sketched out as the lease area for the solar.
And calculate an acreage, so I have it outlined in here as per the lease, and he wants an acreage in that?
Just separating that, yeah, what's the acreage in that and what's the remainder?
Got it, that I
So it
understand,
should be
thank you.
simple calculation.
Because I wasn't sure if it was a
No,
density
it did
thing.
say lot coverage, which does have a different meaning, so
Okay, great.
totally get your confusion. Okay.
And then we'll check on the county planning referral, and if it needs to be referred, I'm sure at the next meeting, once we have a complete application, we'll be able to do that.
Okay. Hannah?
I have the secret agreement. It's not a secret agreement. The agreement that Marlborough has made with county. And my first question would be, this is within 500 feet of Milton Turnpike, which is a county road?
Yes.
Okay. And subdivisions within 500 feet, which have fewer than 5 lots?
Okay.
And access roads and structures are not located within a 100-year floodplain. It's an and. Do not require, those are exempt.
So because it's over 5 lots, it needs a referral?
Yes.
And that
So I
answers
think
that question.
Probably the board should go ahead and move to do that.
Okay. All right, so we want to, move for lead agency? We want to
No,
circulate
to
for lead agency or
circulate,
no?
yeah.
We want to circulate for
So,
lead
right, this
agency
is
or no?
incorrect now. So we need to we can just, move to circulate.
All right, so let's have a motion to move to circulate for lead agency.
I'll make that motion.
Cindy? Second by Fred. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Motion carried. Did we addressed number 14 on the AF, Part 1? 14 on the AF, Part 1?
Yes, that was just Pat's comment, number 14. Yes, that was just
Okay.
Pat's comment, which now is no longer number 14 because it's, this is a revised list. But I think,
It used to be 16, now it's 14.
Now it's 14.
16, now it's
Okay.
14.
and Patty said she's already done, what is it called? Or you're working on the,
The Chris.
Chris?
Yeah. The
And
Chris.
then we're going to,
Yeah.
So we're going to
Yes.
see your, but we're going to make a motion to, you know,
Send it to Ulster County Planning Board.
and to SHPO, right?
No, you
You're
don't
gonna
send
take
it to
care of it?
SHPO. I take care of SHPO. You don't send it to SHPO. I take
So
care of
let's
SHPO.
vote to refer to county per GML 239M. Per GML 239M. Make a motion.
I'll make that motion, but I don't know if it's in reference to that particular GML law. I think it's just a
239M?
matter, it's just a matter of, I think it's
239M?
it's pertinent to go to county.
Okay, so we'll just make a motion to refer to county. Second, Joe. Any questions? Second, Joe. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All in favor? Motion carried. Opposed? So we'll just direct Pat's office to prepare the Part 2 for next meeting, if all necessary information is received. So we'll see you June 1st?
Yes, you will.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you very much.
yes.
So I'd like to have a motion to go into attorney-client meeting for about 5-10 minutes. I am done for right now because Cindy has to recuse herself for the next one. No, it's okay. Can I have a motion, please? No, it's okay. Seconded by Fred. All in favor? Aye. By Fred. All in favor? Okay. So we'll be back in about. What? We'll be back in about. Yeah, we're going to go in that back room. All right? Yeah, we're going to go in that back room. All right?
No. No, you can, the bathroom, Kelly. For the rough start. No. We got it together. We got it. Okay, great. First.
I don't need to go. I know, I'm sorry. And she talks so fast. We gotta be careful because I should cut that off while they're in here.
Is it recording?
It's recording.
Okay, good, because you know what, my whole computer isn't working tonight.
Oh,